Woman drops out of getting her PhD so she could do OnlyFans.
I've dropped out of my PhD. I've cried so much over this decision to quit my PhD, because it's a stressful decision, not that I'm particularly sad about it. I'll get into all of that in a bit later, but moving on to doing OnlyFans and content creation full-time, it's not just a career choice, it feels kind of like a gamble on the direction of my entire life.
You think?
Some days I wonder if I'm making the right choice. When I open LinkedIn and I see the pages of all of the people who are my age, who already have 3 years into their careers and are climbing the ladder with senior level titles, it stirs something in me. I start to feel a twinge of jealousy, imagining what it would be like in their place.
Back then, when people felt that twinge of jealousy, it would actually make them wanna go out there and do whatever they're already doing harder to get their job and get their career up the boat. Soon as women start getting into the career field, now you get in this FOMO that you're missing out on something. Looking at somebody else's success like it should be your success is just crazy. And then you say, you know what? Now it's time to show my booty hole.
I've spent the last couple of years in grad school, whereas many of my colleagues from undergrad got jobs directly afterwards. So I guess I'll always have those advanced degrees with me. But I can't say that I don't like the idea of wearing a polished suit and walking into an office where I have people working with me and working on a project, or even the alternative route of becoming a professor and having students work for me, where I have my own lab and I teach my own course, and the thought of sitting with my team to come up with solutions to a certain problem, or even find something new, learn something new, and then applying that knowledge. And writing papers gives a sense of fulfillment, There's some sort of camaraderie in those environments and a structure that I think I'd enjoy. And of course, not to mention the outfits. I mean, come on. I have so many professional outfits that have never seen the light of day just because I have nowhere to wear them to. And of course, I keep buying them. And part of me...
You got somewhere to wear them to now. Right there on your goddamn computer.
Wonders if I'll miss the chance to experience that life and that lifestyle. But then I start to think about some of the trade-offs. Those same people whose lifestyles I thought I envied are tied to someone else's vision and someone else's pace. They'll spend their lives working for a company, doing things that they don't necessarily enjoy, and of course without the recognition that they deserve. Their work might win someone else fame and wealth, while they stay in the background, expendable. They'll constantly worry about getting laid off, planning their lives around their salaries, budgeting to pay bills, and likely renting a place to live or being tied down to a 30-year mortgage. Vacations are rationed and squeezed into limited paid time off days. My path, on the other hand, is different. It's freer in ways that feel both liberating and, to be honest, a little terrifying.
That word liberating is like the word of the year. It's liberating to show yourself just to get some money so you won't have to deal with all the other stuff. Although everything that she just said and everything she just explained made most people just hate their life, because to tell the truth, it's really like that. But I'm trying to figure out where is the gap between that and doing something else. Why do you have to show your body? That's what I want her to explain.
I'm no longer bound by the expectations of an academic institution or the constraints of a corporate office. I can comfortably wake up each day and decide what I want to learn, diving into topics that genuinely interest me and not just those deemed important by a funding agency or a company's bottom line. And when it comes to research, I'm no longer bound by the pressure to publish for the sake of tenure or grant applications. I can write papers independently, not because I need to meet a quota, but because I genuinely want to contribute to something. Everything that I create will reflect my own ideas, my own creativity, and my own ambitions. And of course, the best part is that everything I build will be entirely my own. I'm not contributing to someone else's legacy or bottom line. I'm building my own brand and my own future. And all of the effort that I put directly benefits me. The rewards are mine to enjoy. For example, although my OnlyFans has been a side project while I pursued my PhD, I've been able to make over $1 million. With that, I helped my...
I might change my mind here. This girl sat there and made $1 million on OnlyFans part-time. That can poison anybody's mind to just know you can get up and do absolutely nothing and get $1 million while then again working hard over here and making whatever salary she was making. This is what can poison somebody's mind. Although it's going to come back to bite her later, she'll figure that out later.
Family pay off their mortgage, I bought myself a car, and thankfully I avoided taking out any student loans. Now I have an investment portfolio and I'm planning on buying my own house soon. So all of these achievements are just reminders of the tangible rewards of carving my own path and the freedom that comes with it. But even with this freedom, I am genuinely terrified. I fear not having that external competition, no one to measure myself against, and that it will make me complacent. Will I push myself enough without the pressure to outperform from others. And of course, there's also the opposite case, that my drive for more will take over. What if I never feel satisfied, always chasing that next milestone, the next goal? Will I lose sight of myself and values in that relentless pursuit? Of course, I want to enjoy the life I'm building and feel the rewards of my labor, not just keep pushing forward endlessly. Then there's also the fear of settling. What if I get stuck in a place that feels just right but not great? What if I accept less than I know I'm capable of? And what if, in trying to avoid that, I push myself into something that I'm not entirely comfortable with, forcing myself to fit in a mold that doesn't feel natural? It's overwhelming, but when I look at the bigger picture, I know I'm better off than most people my age, or even those that are far older than I am. That's part of why I chose to leave academia. Just for some reference, a professor in the US earns around $100,000 on average, but the job isn't what most people imagine it to be, or at least it's not what I thought it would be. Instead of spending their time diving into research or contributing to new ideas in the field, most of their energy is spent writing grant proposals and fighting for funding.
That means you shouldn't be a professor if you don't want to do that. That does not mean you need to show booty hole online. That you taking it way too far, lady.
Based on my first-hand experience working with several professors, these funds often go to those at more prestigious universities, regardless of whether they're more qualified. Additionally, their students often do majority of the hands-on work, and the professor acts more as an administrator. It's a life filled with constraints and obligations, not the idealized pursuit of knowledge I once dreamed of. So what about working in the industry? Well, the reality is that it's no better. Big tech, for all its allure of innovation and opportunity, is a world where the individual contributions are mostly invisible. The work you pour your heart into is rarely attributed to you. Instead, it pads the pockets of the executives who sit at the top, taking the credit and the glory for your work. Employees are treated as interchangeable, expendable. Every job comes with that silent anxiety of layoffs, the knowledge that your position is only as secure as the next quarterly earnings report. It's a precarious, thankless existence, one that I think would stifle my creativity and autonomy. I know that I'm choosing something harder, but in the end, more fulfilling. This journey isn't easy, but it's entirely mine. I wasn't born into a wealthy family or handed opportunities on a silver platter. Every step forward I take, every milestone I reach, will be the result of my own vision. That thought on its own is intimidating, but it's also incredibly empowering.
This is what feminism did, because there's no way possible that you could think selling yourself is going to be more liberating and more happy, and make you more happy than going to achieve something as far as going to school. Keep in mind, you don't have to, she doesn't have to be a professor. What she's trying to do is compare everything that she chose to do, just one path, as if it's only one path in life, and that's to go to corporate and climb a corporate ladder. It's so many other things. It's so many other ways you could be an entrepreneur. It's so many other things you could do in the world. But hers is like, basically, if you can't do this as a person, if you can't do this corporate ladder, as far as being a professor or something like that, then the only other viable option would be is the OF route, to show your mosquito bites. Her showing her mosquito bites equals out something way better than something that she actually had to build up and work for. What she's really saying is like, I don't like hard work, and I don't want to do so much hard work and not get compensated for it the way I feel I should be compensated for it. Now that's fair, but that does not mean that you have to go over here and go sell yourself because you're going to make a pretty penny. There are plenty millionaires that make millions and millions of dollars and still miserable. Notice everything she say is me, I. It's all about her. It has nothing to do with nobody else. Where do you think that's going to end up? Even if she made $10 million every single year, she'll still be miserable because it's not going to do anything for you. What is it going to do for you at the end of your life? When I say the end of your life, I don't mean like when you turn 60 and 70 and 80. This ship is going to sink real fast. And in order to keep up with this OF stuff, you have to do more and more and more. And the way you have to build and the way you have to collaborate, you're not just sitting there looking pretty and saying hi.
A reminder that I have the freedom to carve out a life of my own on my own terms. A freedom that so many people will never experience because they're just too afraid to break the norms that are set by society. And perhaps most importantly, I need to learn to be kinder to myself. I have the tendency to be overly critical, always pushing myself to do more, to be better. But I'm realizing that this growth doesn't always come from harshness. It also comes from compassion. And I know that if I want to thrive in this new chapter, I need to give myself permission to rest, to to make mistakes and learn from them without the guilt or self-punishment. This life I'm building is like a masterpiece in progress. Every choice I make, every challenge I face, and every success I achieve will be a reflection of me. There's no blueprint, no guarantees, but that's what makes it exciting. It's mine to create, and I know deep down that it'll be worth it.
She really thinks it's going to be worth it. She's going to be so miserable later on. And it's sad because so many women will talk about doing this type of things and doing the OnlyFans and showing themselves. And right now it might feel amazing. That's why they say money is the root of all evil, because you would do something otherwise. Like, you would not do that otherwise. It's no way. Maybe becoming a professor and helping people out, you would do, and you'll do for a cheaper price. And you can live a life like that, knowing that you're helping somebody. What you're doing is taking advantage of lonely men that have no self-control, and you take their money. These are men that are husbands. These are men that are fathers. These are men that spend their money on OnlyFans instead of paying their bills. Like, you're taking advantage of real lonely men, because it takes a certain type of man to sit there and invest that much money and that much time into a female they don't even know and not paying them no mind at all. Think about that. So you're taking advantage of them. If I was a dude, just imagine you. Just imagine if some old ladies like, I don't know, the color gray, and they like gray sweats. That's what the old ladies like. And you took gray sweats and you specifically went around nursing homes and wherever the old ladies at. So when they get their retirement check, when they get their SSI, they just spend all that money on you. And you just continuously do that. You go to the bingo, you go into the casinos, you go into all the places that the elderly be. And all those old ladies just take their money and they can't help themselves but just throw all their money at you. What type of person would they say you are as a man? Do you think they're going to be like, all right, yeah, well, they stupid enough to, throw their money is on them? Or they're going to be like, you a trash guy for doing that, for taking advantage of people that cannot help themselves, especially when it comes to old ladies. She's taking advantage of men that can't help themselves. And you take this and you feel like, all right, now I get to buy tangible things. And you think these tangible things is going to make your life better. Yeah, in the short term, it will make it great. And I always give this analogy to let you go home with. If you make $100 million, you'll spend it, you'll blow it, you'll give your family money, you'll buy big houses, cars, and everything. If the year after that you make another $100 million, what are you going to do with it? You're going to just probably spend it on the same things, get something bigger and better, cool. Then you get another $100 million. It's literally nothing else to do it but just buy more of stuff. I can guarantee you her closet is going to be more designer, or a more expensive car, a bigger house somewhere. All of this just to show your body. And then now when you have a husband, when you have children, the things that actually matter in life, you're going to regret every single decision. Everything that comes out this girl's mouth is me, I. It's real good right now. When you're young and you're pretty, all that's going to go away. She may be in her mid-20s. She got every bit of maybe 10, 15 years. After that, if she turns 40, she got about 40 years of sorrow. So for your 15, 20 years of fame, you're going to have about 40, 50 years of sorrow.